that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week is episode 57, the six-pack challenge from September of 1999. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV as always. JV, what's going on this week?
Not much going on this week, dude. Next week, there'll be a lot going on.
Next week, too much going on.
Yeah,
next week,
but right now
Christmas.
it's like the calm before the storm, I'd say.
Yeah, that's true. Most of your Christmas gift buying is probably wrapping up at this point, and you're just waiting, waiting for the big holiday to come. But fantasy football has been going on, playoffs.
Yes.
And I know two of the leagues that you're in with me, I made the finals, and you made the finals in another league I'm in with you. So we're kicking some ass, and hopefully we walk away with some money in the championship.
Yeah, I got I'm in quite a few leagues, but I was able to get to the finals in the three leagues with the most expensive buy-ins. So
right, and I'm happy in one of my leagues, our belt league, where I have a chance of regaining my championship, being a three-time champion.
And you get a nice payday with it too.
Right, $600. Hey, take that.
Well, 500.
Oh yeah, because I didn't pay it. That's all right.
I know. I just wanted to make you sound like a deadbeat. Even though I've told you, don't pay me. So
yeah, that's all going on. But here on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, we're moving along through Stone Cold's career, and we just got out of August last episode with the Mr. McChampion, when Vince McMahon won the WWF Championship thanks to Stone Cold Steve Austin. So we'll be moving into September on this episode, heading to Unforgiven. And we'll cover Unforgiven during this episode also. But before we get to all that, let me just point out that we have a YouTube channel where you can get all our episodes and all of our more recent watch-alongs. All the older watch-alongs aren't on there yet, but you can get basically the whole story of Stone Cold Steve Austin from the start up to this point in September of 1999 on the YouTube channel at Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So search that there on YouTube and subscribe. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at Bottom Line Cast. Me, Mike Prue, I'm at MPRU83, and JV is at John Van Damage. If you want to holler at us and point some things out that maybe we got wrong, or things that we didn't mention, or something that you just wanted to hear about, or something you want to point out, Twitter's a good place to do that. So again, it's at Bottom Line Cast. JV and I also do another show. We do a show on the Book in the Territory Patreon.com feed at their $5 tier, and it's the Extreme ECW Livecast. And this week, today, we dropped a supersized episode in which we covered 3 episodes of Hardcore TV from 1993. It was the October 19th, October 26th, and November 2nd episode of Hardcore TV. So that's available there if you're interested in checking that out. A lot of good stuff on the Book in the Territory Patreon feed. And make sure you go to the $5 tier, because that's where our episodes are for the Extreme ECW Livecast. Try it out for a month, see if you like it, and continue on. Either way, just give it a shot. So again, last week was episode 56, Mr. McChampion. So basic recap here real quickly. Triple H wins the championship the night after SummerSlam. Mankind won it the night before at SummerSlam, and is going to immediately lose it to Triple H. Austin's out of action for a while until September 9th. When he returns, he challenges Triple H, but he gets DQ'd. He doesn't really care about getting the title really at that point. He just wants revenge on Triple H for injuring him. And then Triple H is going to defend the title the next week. He says he'll defend it against anybody but Austin. And he ends up choosing Mr. McMahon and Shane McMahon as the special ref. But Austin has other plans. He comes in and causes Triple H to lose the title to his rival, Mr. McMahon. So Mr. McMahon ends up the champion here. And that brings us to the next week on Raw 330 from September 20th, 1999. This is a live episode, and it's coming from Houston, Texas. JV, you ready to jump into this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so the show's going to start off with a promo where Mr. McMahon, thankfully, is not going to be boisterous about being the champion and go on this long run as the WWF champion. He's basically immediately going to relinquish the belt, which I thought was a great move.
Great idea. Great idea. Because this past month that we've covered has been kind of, the storytelling's just been sloppy.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It's like stupid.
Right. Mankind becomes the champ, and Triple H wins it. Stone Cold has to drop the belt or whatever, and yeah, so it's just all over the place. And then McMahon wins it. So anyway, let's take a listen to McMahon relinquish the title. And then we'll talk about it right after this.
SmackDown! Oh, I'm telling you, Triple H has got to be going nuts!
For those of you who don't believe that anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation, I guess you're a believer now.
That's the truth! Amen to that.
You see, last Thursday, when Triple H personally provoked me, it wasn't about the WWF title, no. It was simply attempting to kick Triple H's ass. And thanks to, of all people, Stone Cold Steve Austin, I became the World Wrestling Federation champion. But being the champion is all business. That's what it's about. And as you all know, per a previous contract, I'm prohibited from engaging in day-to-day business activities.
Oh, yeah.
And I live up to my word. So therefore, tonight, I am relinquishing the World Wrestling Federation Championship.
What? Man. What? Relinquishing the belt?
And declare, as the McMahon family spokesperson, that the winner of the six-pack challenge at this Sunday's Unforgiven will be the undisputed World Wrestling Federation champion.
Whoa!
All right, so you have Vince McMahon. He walks down to the ring. You don't see the belt right away, but as he walks there, you can kind of start to see it poking through a little bit. He has it around his waist, and it's covered up by his jacket. And then he goes through the ropes. He starts to strut around. After he rips his jacket open, and then he's walking around like he's Bret Hart. When Bret Hart used to wear the jacket and had the belt around his waist.
Mocking that, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of it as mocking Bret Hart.
I thought of it immediately. Immediately, like a straight middle finger to Bret Hart.
Good catch, good call. So McMahon says he was personally provoked by Triple H. That's the only reason why he was in that match. He wanted to kick Triple H's ass for bringing up his family and bringing up Linda and how he's not man enough to please Linda. And McMahon even thanks Stone Cold Steve Austin that he's become the WWF champion. But Mr. McMahon makes a point right away to say, I had an agreement. It was a contract that I would not be involved in WWF affairs. It was personal, and that's the only reason. So because of that, I'm going to relinquish the WWF Championship because I need to live by my word.
Which I thought was good.
Yeah.
Kind of brought that storytelling into it. Nice continuation.
Right. So that part's good, but then it's all going to come to shit in a second.
This is one of the worst parts of that we've covered in 57 episodes now.
Yeah. Especially coming from Austin, too. Which we'll get
so
to
bad.
in a second. But
yeah.
So McMahon's going to say he's no longer the champion, but there will be a championship match. There'll be a new champion crowned in a six-pack challenge match at Unforgiven. So, obviously, Austin wouldn't be happy about that because he's the one that got the belt off of Triple H by giving it to McMahon. And he doesn't even know if he's part of this match yet. So he's going to want to make it a point to say, hey, what about me? I better be in this goddamn match. So Austin comes on out. And let's take a listen to what goes on here for a couple minutes.
Never know what's going to happen here.
First of all, let me say this. Even though I still hate your guts, and hell, you might even still hate mine, I will say this. This place just hasn't been the same without you, you silly bastard.
I think that was a compliment.
Now, from what I'm picking up, with you relinquishing the World Wrestling Federation title and taking yourself out of the match at Unforgiven, that leaves only 5 people in a 6-pack match. And you can believe me, nobody here knows a 6-pack better than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold 6-pack.
So what I'm proposing to you is, what I'll do is take your place in that 6-pack match at Unforgiven and take back exactly what is mine, and that's the World Wrestling Federation title.
Can he do that? I don't know. It's a fair request.
I cannot and will not engage in normal business activities. I can't do that. I know that's what they want. I can't do that.
Even if he wanted to.
All right, so Austin heads down to the ring. He's not even playing around. He's got a mic in his hand right from the start. He's not going to wait to get a mic in the ring. He has it. So he gets right in there. He says, even though I still hate your guts, I will say this. This place has not been the same without you, you silly bastard.
That was pretty cool. I like that.
Yep. It does start to become like, I thought you guys hated each other, though.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
it's like same token that Steve Austin's rich, too.
Right,
Because
yeah.
of this guy. So
That's true.
I guess I get it. It's like they hate each other, but they do really good business together.
That's a good point, too. So Austin says McMahon is removing himself from the 6-pack challenge. I didn't think he was in the match anyway.
No, he wasn't. They're having this match because he wants to give up a belt.
Right. So I guess that would leave only 5 guys. So the 6-pack challenge was supposed to be Mankind, Kane, Undertaker, Big Show, Triple H, and The Rock. Those were the 6 guys. Because this match was actually announced the week before that there was going to be a 6-pack challenge because of all those number 1 contendership matches where it was an ending.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The winner. So they said, all right, they'll all just be together in that one match. So when McMahon said, oh, I'm removing myself from it, it's like you weren't part of it unless you're taking Triple H's spot because you beat him. I guess that would be the only thing that made sense. And Austin's not in that match at this point. That's why he's coming out there. So Austin comes out. He says, nobody knows a 6-pack more than me. Good little beer joke. Which I thought was perfect for our episode here. Is a 6-pack challenge. It's double entendre. It's the name of the match, but it's also, hey, Austin drinks 6-pack, so it goes along with his character. So he says that Austin proposes that he will take McMahon's spot in the 6-pack challenge. And he doesn't have a spot, like I was saying. So that's kind of convoluted story writing right there. And Vince says he can't engage in WWF activity. So then Triple H heads down to the ring. And now it even gets more convoluted as things go on from this point. So let's take a listen to what goes on when Triple H heads down to the ring. Take a listen.
This, a lot of sleepless nights for the man that the fans are describing as, well, you can all hear that.
Vince! You're damn right you can't. And believe me, Jack, you won't. Because I don't know what you two are trying to pull, but I have every right to be in that 6-pack match at Unforgiven. The two of you stole from me like thieves in the night. You stole my property. You took my gold.
I told you that's what he thought. As if Helmsley hasn't broken the rules whenever he felt like it.
I think here in Houston, they're calling your name again. You think I give a crap what these idiots think? I don't care. I could care less. You can all kiss my ass.
I can't hear a word you're saying because you got 19,000 people calling you an asshole.
Well, you reap what you sow, Triple H.
Vince, it goes like this. You've got two choices. You either give me my slot in the six-pack match, or I swear to God, and Vince, you look me dead in my eyes, and you will know that I am not lying. You will personally watch as one of your family members takes a ride out of this building on a stretcher.
Oh, come on. That's cheap, and that's Vince's family, and
No chance.
man, oh man, is it getting interesting here. There's Shane McMahon.
Hey, listen up, Triple H. Nobody in my family is going to be hurt ever again by the likes by you, ever. As my mother said last week, Triple H, you dug your own grave, now you have to lie in it. Payback saw a bitch, Triple H, and tonight you will learn the meaning of the word payback, because tonight in that very ring, it's you in China in a special tag team match against Shane and Vince McMahon, because the McMahon boys want to get them some.
Oh, they got surprise Vince. What? The McMahons against Triple H in China here tonight. I don't know if that's a good idea.
When are you gonna stop letting that hot-headed son of a bitch run your company, Vince? When you grow a set and take back your damn company.
Oh.
Nothing would please me any greater to get my hands on the reins of the World Wrestling Federation again. But you know damn well the contract we signed at Fully Loaded stated that if The Undertaker didn't defeat you, I was going to be on the sidelines, and unfortunately that's exactly where I am.
That was in July.
Jesus Christ, Vince. Didn't your little hotshot lawyers read the fine print? The fine print said that only one son of a bitch could reinstate you in the World Wrestling Federation.
Uh-oh. What? Wait a minute. Are you trying to say?
And that one son of a bitch would be me, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Man, that's a blockbuster.
What are you saying?
Yeah, what I'm saying is, I'll reinstate your ass back in the World Wrestling Federation right now if you grant me my World Wrestling Federation title shot.
Man, that's a deal for you. That's bribery if you ask me.
Then I'm going to consider myself reinstated because you just got your title shot.
What? All right. The Rollins and Vince McMahon are both back in the saddle again.
Wait a minute. But it won't be at Unforgiven. No.
What?
You meet the winner of the match at Unforgiven. The person that's going to be in that six-pack challenge, and I'm not rewarding him, don't get me wrong, is going to be you, Triple H, because there are 5 other guys who want to kick your ass just as badly as I do tonight.
Boy, that's a fact. That's signing Triple H's death warrant.
Fine. But you know what? Screw you, Vince. Oh, no. Screw me? Vince McMahon? No. Screw you, since the referees are on strike. Guess what? There is now a special enforcer in the six-pack challenge, and his name is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, my God! My God, Austin's going to be the enforcer this
And
Sunday.
that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
God almighty, I can't believe it. Stone Cold Steve Austin King is going to be the enforcer this Sunday in Charlotte. And Unforgiven. Triple H is beside.
All right, so Triple H heads down to the ring. He's still got his little bitch security detail. Or he's supposed to be this big tough guy, but he's surrounded by all these police officers. And he goes on to say, Vince, you're damn right you can't. Meaning that he can't engage in WWF activity. He says, "You're damn right you can't, Jack." That's his new thing, Jack.
Yeah.
You're damn right, Jack. And you won't, because I don't know what you two are pulling or trying to pull. I have every right to be in that six-pack challenge. You stole my property. Fucking property. I hate when they call the title property. It's not a property, it's a prize.
Yeah, and this type of stuff from Triple H, it's like, I don't know, when like a couple years ago when he was like, and I was like a Triple H hater, like when he was like about WrestleMania 28, say.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's still putting himself in fucking main events, blah, 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 he sucks. And everyone's like, oh, you forget how great Triple H was. And then I watch shit like this. I'm like, dude, he's overrated. He's a superstar. But I think he's overrated by a lot of fans.
Yeah, I think he gets better around 2001, 2002.
Well, when he comes back jacked out of his ass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That run.
Oh, no, yeah. I do like the stuff with Evolution. All right, yeah, no.
Right,
but this
yeah.
stuff, like he wasn't that. It
Yeah,
took him a
early
while
on.
to get going.
Right.
It took him a few years.
Oh, yeah. And then
If you're saying that, a good like 5 years, if you go from 96 to what you say, 2001.
Yeah.
Was when
I mean, but he's really picking up steam here. So 95, 96, 97, even 98, he's not he's definitely not on the level of being a main eventer. It's only here in 99 that he reaches main event status.
Yeah, but I'm saying his material isn't good.
Oh,
like
no.
his character's still
No.
kind of whack. I don't like it at all.
No, that character
His promos
sucks.
are shitty.
He's only starting to get an edge at this point, and he's
Yeah.
still not fully shaped yet. So yeah, I totally agree. He's not there yet at this point. There's still a lot more to come from him, but the fact that he gets there is because he's pushed into those positions. He positioned himself to be on top. Anybody else would have never gotten that opportunity as long as he did to finally shine. He would have been fucking, if he wasn't married to Stephanie or involved in that level,
Oh,
he would have been sent down to the mid card a long time. He would, by 2000, he would have been back down the card. But he stays on top of the card from this point on because of connections. And that's the truth. Whose catchphrase was that? Someone said that like the other week. And that's the truth. It was either Triple H.
Truth?
No. I mean, on these shows, I think it was like Triple H or even Big Show had something stupid like that.
I think it was Triple H. Last week we talked about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Triple H said something like that to that effect. But anyway, Vince gets the crowd to call Triple H an asshole, which was pretty cool. Where he says, "Oh, I think they're calling your name," and then they just start chanting "asshole." So he tells Triple H, pulls his little skit. This is like an ongoing skit now, where Vince sets up the asshole chant. Triple H says, "I don't care what they have to say." Then Stone Cold jumps in, says, "I don't know how good your hearing is, but there's 16,000 people calling you an asshole." So we got that again. That's played out already. Vince, it goes like this. Another one of his catchphrases at this time. Goes like this. You give me my slot in a six-pack challenge, or I swear to God you will personally watch as one of your family members rides out of this building in a stretcher. So Shane McMahon comes out all hyped up. He's now a baby face out of nowhere. And he comes out to confront Triple H. Shane forces Triple H and China to face Shane and Vince McMahon in a match later that night. Vince McMahon can't believe it. He's like, what the hell? And Stone Cold jumps in and says, "Stop letting that hot-headed son of a bitch run your company. When you're going to grow a set and take over your damn company?" Vince says he would want nothing more to get his hands back on the reins of the WWF, and reminds Austin that he signed a contract at Fully Loaded that says he can't be involved in the affairs. And then here comes the shitty part. Austin says, well, you didn't read the fine print. Only one son of a bitch could reinstate you to the WWF. And that one son of a bitch would be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, that sucked.
Yeah, it did.
Because it just goes totally against everything that built up to him getting Vince McMahon out of the WWF. And for what? Austin's now going to reinstate him so he can get a title shot? That makes no sense. Because he cared more about getting rid of McMahon than being the champion. And now just a couple months later, he's like, oh, I want to be the champion, so I gotta bring you back in. And then who's to say when he gets McMahon back in that McMahon's not going to screw him again? So it's just stupid. So Austin says he would reinstate McMahon right now if he grants him a title shot.
And it's not soon that he like sells out, right?
No, not quite. No, you mean Austin?
Yeah, sells out to the corporation.
Basically. Yeah, not until 2001.
All right, I was going to say that's the third bout, right?
Third.
Doesn't that leading up to him against The Rock?
Yeah, it happens at WrestleMania.
Was that the third one? Their third fight or their second fight?
Shit, I think it was the second. 17.
Right,
yeah,
which would have been
17. It would have been 17, 2001.
2001. That's right. Yeah,
because 2003 is the third one, and that's his last. That's the
right,
last.
Because it's every other year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So to continue on.
No, yeah, right. To your point, it doesn't make sense then.
Right, it's still over a year away.
Yep.
But granted, he is out for most of 2000. So.
Oh yeah, right.
So I guess maybe you could still try to work that story in that he was out. And he came back. He was on McMahon's side from that point on.
Oh no, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I guess we'll have to pay attention to that.
We'll see if it makes any sense. They probably weren't thinking of it, but we can maybe work it in to make sense.
Yeah,
we'll see. All right, so Austin says McMahon says rather, I'm gonna consider myself reinstated because you just got your title shot, but it won't be at Unforgiven. You'll meet the winner of the match at Unforgiven. The person taking that spot will be Triple H because there's 5 men in that match that want to kick his ass just as badly as I do. So Austin gets his title shot, but it's not going to be in the six-pack challenge, which is actually better for Austin. So McMahon's hooking him up, basically. Like, you don't have to go up against all those guys. You'll have to go one-on-one with whoever wins. And that'll be a better situation for Austin instead of being able to get pinned by 5 other guys. So, good deal there. Triple H tells Vince McMahon to go screw himself. He says, screw me? No, screw you. Since the referees are on strike, guess what? There is now a special enforcer in the six-pack challenge match, and his name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. So Austin closes it out with that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. So you got Vince McMahon and Stone Cold all buddy-buddy here, kind of. Austin reinstates McMahon. McMahon says, all right, you got your title shot, and you'll only have to go one-on-one against the champion. You don't have to be in the six-pack challenge, and you'll get to be the referee of the six-pack challenge, or the special enforcer of the six-pack challenge, and you'll be able to help determine who wins the match by being the enforcer. So, all kinds of love going on with those two guys at this point. Then, later in the show, the main event is Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon against Triple H and Chyna. So Triple H wants Austin not to mess with him at Unforgiven, or he's going to be on the crippled shelf once again. McMahon doesn't actually get in the match because there's a forklift blocking McMahon. Test comes out and takes Vince's spot. So now it's Shane and Test versus Triple H and Chyna, which totally makes the main event seem like shit when you get to it. But apparently at this time, Nitro's not a threat to their ratings, so this didn't matter. They still kicked Nitro's ass in this part of the show. So there is one spot in the match where Shane and Test are like trying to do like tag team work together, and it sucks. It's like they like run into each other. So horrible early on in the match. But towards the end of the match, Jeff Jarrett comes in. He goes after Test, and he's involved with the feud with Chyna, so that's why he's down there. Chyna and Jarrett fight off into the back, so now it's just Triple H against Test and Shane. And Test goes for an elbow drop. He misses it. Knocks down the ref, which is a scab ref, because all the refs are on strike, which is a whole nother shitty storyline going on. So Triple H is going to hit pedigree on Test and then on Shane. Triple H grabs a chair, slams it into Test's shoulders, and then into Shane's back. And then you get the referee calling for the bell. I don't remember which scab referee it was, whether it was Tom Pritchard, Harvey Whippleman.
I think it's Tom Pritchard.
Tom Pritchard with his blue pants.
Yeah.
Like,
It's funny because I forgot about the storyline as I chatted you, and then I was like, oh yeah, they did mention that.
Yeah.
And that's why Jim Ross even calling them is like referring to them as scabs and shit because they're non-union employees.
Right. Even though they are, because they all work for the WWF, they just weren't referees. Vince McMahon comes from behind after the match as Triple H is walking up the ramp, and then Vince McMahon nails him with the steel chair. And Vince he goes right over him, like, straddles him basically, and just starts slapping the shit out of Triple H as the show goes off the air. So Vince McMahon comes out and gets his revenge on Triple H. But the thing I was wondering, which wasn't discussed at all really, is who put the forklift to block Vince McMahon in?
It's a good... Well...
I guess you would imagine it's Triple H in China.
Right.
Would have done it. I guess. But it could have been more intriguing if there was some kind of story with it.
Yeah, because we don't find out in what we covered today who it is.
Yeah, and I
don't recall them dressing it again. I mean, it can allude to being someone that debuts later in our episode, but...
Yeah, and I don't think it matters after what we get through today on this episode to reveal who it was based on what happens. But anyway, that leads us now to the next episode of WWF Television, which is SmackDown Episode 5 from September 23rd, 1999. This is in Dallas, Texas. This was taped just the night after that live Raw from Houston, Texas. And the show's going to start off with a promo. Vince McMahon and Triple H. Vince is going to introduce Triple H immediately as the show starts. He says he claims he will be the man to win the six-pack challenge. He claims to be the game. He is Triple H. McMahon does his little asshole chant for Triple H. McMahon points out the headache I gave you on Monday night will be nothing compared to the full-blown migraine I'm going to give you tonight. Vince McMahon's pissed that Triple H threatened his family, so he also points out, I'm not going to hold a grudge. It's not about a grudge. I'm going to get even. So Triple H will face all the six-pack challenge members, the 5 others, obviously, in 5 matches. So he points out all the different matches, which when you hear these matches on paper, it's like, wow, that's a fucking great card. That's some good shit. You got The Rock and a Brahma Bull rope match. You got Triple H in a casket match against The Undertaker. Triple H against Mankind in a Boiler Room Brawl. Kane in an Inferno match. Big Show in the Letdown Chokeslam Challenge match. It's pretty cool to look, though, that there's a gimmick for every single one of them. Kane's Inferno. Mankind's Boiler Room. Undertaker's Casket. And then he made 2 up for the other guys. Rock's Brahma Bull rope in the Chokeslam Challenge. So those are the matches that are going to happen here, and Triple H is going to have to run this gauntlet. In order to keep his spot in the six-pack challenge, he has to win 3 out of 5. And I was just thinking, though, as watching the matches, too, and going through it, he's a heel. This is usually what a babyface would have to go through.
Right.
So it's almost like he's in between. Like, McMahon's kind of the heel here, making him go through this. Because what did he do wrong to have to go through this? Piss him off, basically? So, McMahon's being vindictive like a heel, but he's being portrayed as a babyface while Triple H is being portrayed as the heel.
And these are definitely like mounting tasks.
Right.
I don't know, I think a good, like someone that was actually like, if Triple H was more polished with his character then, this almost could have been like a face turn, naturally, just because of the way the crowd would react.
Right.
But because his promos and everything, I don't know, the fans weren't gravitating to the guy. Sometimes there's those people, those wrestlers that try to be a heel, but they're so good at being a heel that the crowd gravitates to them and ends up liking them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Like The Rock did, and
The Rock,
Stone
Stone Cold,
Yeah, so
John Cena,
right. So with Triple H,
Punk.
he's a heel. People don't like him, but I don't think it's people don't like him because he's a heel. I think people are just disinterested. like,
That's the point I'm trying to make.
yeah. So it's kind of like
That's the word.
disinterested. It's
They're
like
disinterested in him.
yeah. So he's a heel. I think he sucks, but I don't hate him because he's making me hate him. He's hating him. I'm hating him because he sucks.
Yeah.
Which some people I hate when I'll hear other podcasts and they'll say things like, "Well, you're supposed to hate him." I was like, "No, I know why I hate wrestlers. They're not fooling me always into hating them." Like modern day. I mean, I like him, but I can see why other people don't like him. It's Baron Corbin, right? People hate Baron Corbin because maybe they just hate him. They don't like him.
Yeah, I think that guy's terrible.
Whereas in some cases, people maybe don't like him because
people like Prue.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so you have this series of matches. I'll just go through them quickly. The first match is the choke slam challenge. Big Show is actually going to win with the choke slam, and all it took was a choke slam, so you didn't have to make a 3 count or anything, which was a nice little addition there. That it just had to be a choke slam, so Triple H doesn't have to take a pinfall to Big Show. He just has to take the choke slam to lose. So he starts off 0-1, and then you get the Inferno match against Kane. So if Triple H were to lose this match, then he would have to win 3 straight in the challenge. And in this match, you got to have your opponent catch fire. Triple H hits a pedigree, rolls Kane towards the fire. Kane choke slams Triple H. So he's taking a couple choke slams in the night. Good thing it wasn't all choke slam challenge. Kane notices X-Pac is beat up at the top of the ramp by the Undertaker. It's all bloodied up and beaten. So Kane flies over the top rope and lands on Viscera and Midian, who are also down there. And then as he's out there, Viscera pushes Kane into the ring. And Kane's glove catches fire, so he loses. Triple H earns a win there. So Triple H is now 1-1. So in both of those matches, Triple H doesn't look strong. He loses to Big Show. He only wins this match because Viscera pushed Kane into the fire. So 2 matches there, and Triple H is not strong at all. Which I guess works for him being a heel, because you don't want him to look too strong.
Yep. You want him to look like a wussy.
Right.
A weasel.
Yeah. I always think it's funny to hear the word wussy.
I kind of giggled when I said it because I haven't used that word in probably fucking decades.
He's like, will a wussy?
Wussy. Where'd that one come from? Where's my mind at? Dug that one way out.
Too much Triple H is on our mind.
That's what I associate him with. He's a fucking wussy.
So Kane's losing his
WUSSY, right?
Yeah.
It's just pussy with an M.
Pussy with a W. Not a mussy.
An upside down M.
Yeah. Man, you're losing it.
All right, continue on.
So Kane is losing his mind, not just JV. Kane's losing his mind in the back as X-Pac lays there. He's all beat to shit. So Undertaker says he's not going to be in the casket match. Undertaker's all set with this. McMahon tells him if he doesn't have the match, he won't be in the 6-pack challenge. So Undertaker calls McMahon's bluff and says, maybe I won't be participating in anything around here. And then walks off, which I thought was sweet. What a good way to be like, oh, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm not in that match. Maybe I won't do anything. See you later. I'm out. So Undertaker goes, at this point, actually, he's done. Undertaker leaves, and he's going to recover from a groin injury. He's going to be out until December, where he's going to go on a house show and actually tear a pectoral muscle and then be out until May of 2000. And then that's when he makes his return as the American Badass Biker Taker. So Undertaker's gone from this point on. We don't see him on TV anymore until May when he debuts his new character, which during this episode, during that last segment, he is full-blown Biker Taker gear. Headband, bandana, sunglasses, cut-off T-shirt. He's already there. He just hasn't been made a big deal yet. He hasn't been riding a motorcycle to the ring yet. So see you later, Undertaker, for a while. And throughout this episode, we're going to be pointing out...
He's going to get his Kid Rock training in.
Yeah. We're going to be pointing out a few people leaving around this time. So the Undertaker, you're the first one going for a little while. And then we go to a casket match with Triple H. And Undertaker is not in this match. He's already done wrestling at this point. He's not even going to participate in this. And McMahon asks Viscera and Mideon to take Undertaker's place in the casket match. So in that match, what happens is Triple H thinks he wins after getting Mideon in the casket. Shane McMahon comes out and says, no, you need to get both guys in the casket. And then Viscera just obliterates Triple H, big squash, and Mideon jumps in, and then they roll him into the casket, and Triple H loses. So now he's 1-2. So 3 straight matches, Triple H is looking like, as JV says, a little wussy. 3 matches in a row. And then we get to now the 4th match, and I didn't really piece this together as I watched it, how it was actually booked when you look at all the matches in a row. You know, because during the show you watch one match and then there's a few different matches going on, and then to the second match. But just reading through it now, I'm starting to see, oh, that's how they really booked this, making them look totally weak. So in match number 4, it's the Boiler Room Brawl against Mankind. And the only reason why Triple H ends up winning this match is because somebody who we can't see on camera takes a pole and pushes Mankind off some boxes that he's on that are very high up. And Mankind falls after being pushed. And Triple H crawls out of the boiler room, gets the win. So he only gets the win there because somebody else interfered and helped him get that win. So now it's 2-2 for Triple H, and his final match is going to be the Brahma Bull Rope match against The Rock. Backstage, British Bulldog wants a championship match. He says Vince McMahon promised him months ago before he even re-signed that he'll come back and get a title shot, and he wants his title shot now at the Six-Pack Challenge. So Vince McMahon agrees now that there's a spot because Undertaker's gone, so British Bulldog's going to take Undertaker's spot in the Six-Pack Challenge. Now to match number 5, the Rumble Bull Rope match. Triple H versus The Rock. You have British Bulldog in there as the special referee also. And it's going to be Falls Count Anywhere. And I guess it's only a bull rope match in the sense that they are connected to each other. It's not a 4 corners match. It's just they're tied together. Jeff Jarrett's going to make a random fucking appearance again because Chyna's at ringside. So Jarrett runs down, blindsides Chyna, hits her with a frying pan. And Triple H and The Rock fight all over the place. Then they finally get back to the ring. The Rock hits the Rock bottom. And then as The Rock is about to, do the people's elbow or go for a cover, the referee, British Bulldog, clotheslines The Rock and power slams him and rips off his ref shirt. So already at this point, British Bulldog has turned heel. Okay, just a week or 2 after helping Al Snow become the hardcore champion, he's turned heel here. So they already don't know what to do with Bulldog.
And you know what's weird? This is like where they kind of lose storytelling too. Think of how much the Bulldog hated Triple H and all them when he was in the Hart Foundation before Brett.
Right. Hart Foundation DX.
And he's out here helping Triple H.
Right.
That bothered me because that's the first thing I thought of as I was watching. I was like, what?
And in this case, in this situation where he's going to be in the Six-Pack Challenge, why does it make sense to help anybody?
Yeah, I don't.
It's not.
I don't know. Like, is he just trying to make his presence known?
I guess.
Like, look, it's just stupid.
If he really wanted to make his presence known, he would have screwed Triple H because if Triple H lost this match, he would have been out.
Yeah. This was very bad. I didn't like this at all. It's just the writing here and the there's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of holes in their plot where they're not kind of keeping in touch with the prior story that's been written and,
Right at this time, though, this is when the head writers, Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara, they're on their way out in like 3 weeks.
Yep.
So they're probably like, fuck it mode. at this point and not doing their best work. Not even
Purposely.
Yeah, maybe
That
even
makes
on
sense.
purpose. Yeah.
But like no one's checked. There's no checks and balances. No one's like, hey,
Well, you think
no one
Vince
finds
McMahon
this
would
weird.
be?
He's not even paying attention at this point. I don't think about the story point.
Yeah, he can't be either. There's no continuity.
He's like, we're making money.
Yeah.
We're just gonna throw stuff, see what sticks. We have no more competition, really.
Right, and there's probably so much like, oh, what's our new endorsement deals, and a lot of behind the scene business and
Well,
getting contracts.
so we're in '99,
Yeah,
right?
They're about to go public.
Right. So, and there's a lot of. It's not like they wake up one day like, hey, we're going public. It takes a good 12 months,
Right,
at least.
So they're already
to
working
get
on that.
And
And
so I'm sure that's more going on in the back of their mind is like the actual product, especially now that they're winning, is taking a back seat.
And I'm sure even the XFL is in its early stages of planning at this point too, for 2001.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. So he has his hands in everything.
Right. So the writing's probably taking a back seat, even though they just started a new show, SmackDown, and they would need more writing than ever to make all those shows work. So maybe it's just too much. So it's too many hours for what they're used to doing. So they're fucking up a lot with their writing. Possibly. I can see how that could happen. If you're used to doing 2 hours of TV, now you're doing 4 hours.
Yeah, that's true too.
With
So it's a big transition period
yeah,
from a corporate. If you look at WWE holistically, it's back office corporate stuff,
right.
big changes. Product on TV, big changes. So they just changes all around. I'm sure they're trying to build their website, and you can just imagine they're scaling their company at this point.
A big time thing. So that wraps up things there. So British Bulldog turns and Triple H gets the win, and he's gonna keep his spot in the 6-pack challenge. So after just going through those 5 matches, you can see that Triple H does not have a clear victory in any one of those matches. He wins 3, but only with the help of other people every single time he gets the win. So yeah, they kept him as a wussy. And we move on now to the main event, to the big show from Unforgiven 1999. It's September 26th, live from Charlotte, North Carolina. And it's the 6-pack challenge, the revised 6-pack challenge. This match changed a couple times over the past few weeks. But it's now Triple H versus The Rock versus Mankind versus Big Show versus Kane versus the British Bulldog with Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special guest enforcer. At the start of the video package, okay, which starts around 2 hours, 4 minutes into the show, it's a pretty good package if you're watching it, but gives you a nice recap of everything that just happened over the past couple weeks. But the music is horrible. So
It's terrible. I did catch this.
So
They definitely were covering up some other music, right?
Yeah. So I looked up what it was.
Limp Bizkit or something.
And we'll play the song that was during this promo to close out the show later. It was System of a Down, Sugar. You know that song?
I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love the System of a Down. I still do.
So that's what they were playing. They were playing that along with another song from Fear Factory. I don't know what song it was, but
damn, that would have changed the feeling of that.
Oh yeah,
big time. Because I was like, it made it suck even more.
Yeah, it was so horrible.
And it didn't even get you hyped. I'm like,
no, because the music was just so like in the can type music. Like
non-copyright sounds.
Right. So yeah, we'll try to hype you up at the end of this show with the System of a Down. So everybody makes their entrance, and Stone Cold comes down, and he's the special enforcer, and you actually got a legit ref, because one ref crossed the picket line, and he's getting paid at this pay-per-view, and that's Jimmy Corderas. And the other referees aren't going to be too happy when they find out that he's been getting paid to do these pay-per-view matches while they're on strike. So anyway, they all start the match. I thought it was going to be, the way they made it sound like weeks ago was that 2 people were going to start the match, because that was even one thing where they had said, The Rock is going to start off the match with Triple H. He got the opportunity to stop first because if it's just the two of you, then maybe you could beat him and win right away. That's how they had set it up previously. But what this ends up being, and this is the first time they're doing a six-pack challenge match, so they probably didn't know what the rules were when they set this up. But what they end up doing is it's basically a tag team match, which never made sense to me because who the fuck wants to tag somebody into the match so that they could win?
They can get a chance to win. This Six-Pack challenge is a joke.
So what it sets up basically is for every situation is somebody's going to try to tag themselves in by slapping the other guy, which shouldn't be allowed because tag team match you shouldn't just tag into a match. You should be tagged in by the person in the ring, not you tagging into the match. If that makes sense. So it ends up being that kind of situation. I think it would have been better if it started off like a gauntlet match, or even like Royal Rumble style. Two guys start the match, and then a new guy comes in every 2 minutes, and it's still pinfall or submission, but you just have to wait a few minutes for each guy to come into the ring. And that would have just made for better things to happen instead of just a shit show. People standing on the apron, trying to tag each other in. So, anyway, that's what they decided to do. It's false count anywhere, pinfall submission, no DQ. Austin comes to the ring. He's going to go on commentary, which was probably the best part of the match, was Austin on commentary. And Austin calls for the bell and starts the match. He also grabs some beers, and he's going to drink beers while he's on commentary. Austin says he doesn't give a rat's ass who wins because he's going to get a title shot no matter what. They haven't said when he's going to get the title shot, if it's going to be on Raw the next night or if it's going to be at the next pay-per-view, which would be, I believe, No Mercy in October.
Isn't there a UK pay-per-view, or does that not count?
Yeah. There's a UK pay-per-view coming up like the next week or in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Rebellion or something, right?
Yeah.
I saw it on the network.
So I'm not sure how much we'll have to cover of that because I don't think Austin's on it. And I don't think... Usually the UK pay-per-views have nothing to do with what the storylines are, or they don't have a major impact on what's going on in Raw. They'll have matches that involve people in the feuds, but it's almost like a house show, basically. I'll take a look at it and we'll see. But anyway, JV, what'd you hate about this match? I don't want to go through everything.
What I hate, everything. The pacing. Like you said, it was silly. It's the first time I've ever done it. So you have people wanting to tag each other in, which is why like you said, why would you want to tag anyone in? Austin's on commentary most of the match, so he's not really like enforcing the match at all until like the last 5 minutes. He kind of gets involved.
Yeah, basically his attitude is as long as Jimmy Calderas is all right doing the job, I'm not getting involved. I'm going to sit here and drink these beers.
Right, which is
he said he's going to have his own six-pack challenge. Try to drink beers before the match is over.
He was good on commentary, so it did help that a lot. But the match itself was just shitty. So at the last 5 minutes when the referees show up that were on strike and they show up to kind of like interfere in the match.
Yeah. Yeah, so
that's when this match, it kind of saved the show really. I watched most of this pay-per-view. It's kind of pretty shitty.
It is.
But this saved the show. So it's like you got your money's worth in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Because then he starts fucking up all the refs. And then he hits your boy, Earl Hebner, which was awesome.
Yeah, they zoomed
I like
in
how
nice
some of the refs are selling it as he's whacking them. They're just like, because they jump.
Yeah, Tim White.
Jimmy there.
Yeah, they're kicking the shit out of Jimmy Calderas. Yeah, so the refs come down. And I like what Austin says, though. He says, they didn't want to work all day, but they want to come here for the main event.
Yeah.
So the refs are pissed, and Big Show's about to...
Well, what's weird, though,
is,
win. Not sorry to interrupt you,
go ahead.
But there's one part on commentary where it sounds like Austin is like defending the ref union because he's like, these scabs or whatever.
He does.
Almost because come across as a working man, but then he goes and like starts knocking them out because they're interfering in the match, though.
Right.
But it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, there is one part where he says, JR or Lawler points out that, poor working conditions, and Austin says, he says, that's nothing new around here. Like, just in general.
Yeah.
There's nothing new about that.
I like how he says that because then he goes and beats them all the fuck up,
Yeah.
to close, basically, end the match. And it's like, yeah, see, the environment hasn't changed. Get the fuck out of here. Go back on strike.
Well, even Jerry Lawler says after he makes that comment about, oh, that doesn't seem to change around here, and Lawler goes, well, I think you're the cause of a lot of it.
Yeah, he does say that. Yeah.
Because he's been beating the shit out of some of those referees all along.
Ah,
That's why they're
3
strike.
years now.
That's why they're on strike. Is because
Yeah,
they've been
yeah.
getting tossed around and
Fucking
beat up.
No respect.
Right. So, what I also like about Austin then beating up the refs as they're jumping Jimmy Calderas is that Austin is more pissed that now he has to get up and do something because they attacked the referee and he wanted the referee to be all right and handle the match on his own so he could sit at commentary and drink the beers. Now he has to get up because they fucked up the match. So
Yeah.
that's why he goes, kicks all their asses.
But point being, the ref, I can't think of any like memorable moments during the match. I mean, there's a spot between Mankind and Kane on the outside by the steps.
Yeah,
But like
the
I don't
pile
know.
driver on the steps.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then the crowd just the camera crew isn't doing a good job like keeping me interested. It feels like they're bouncing around too much. It was very tough. Tough match to watch.
Any match with 6 guys, other than a Rumble, is tough to watch.
Yeah, actually, I meant to use that analogy. Like, I don't want to see 6 guys in the fucking ring unless it's the Royal Rumble.
Right.
I remember thinking that. That's funny that you say that. I thought that exact sentence as I was watching. Like, I don't fucking need to see this type of match.
Yeah, it's just too many.
6 guys should never be wrestling in the ring unless it's the fucking Royal Rumble.
No.
Like, what are they doing?
I think
it's a tag match. What the fuck?
Right. I think there's even one time I said it back on an old episode that I was watching wrestling. It was...
I think you had Raw on as we were recording, right?
No, not that. But I was just like watching wrestling, like to take notes or something. And my daughter, who was 3 when I was watching it,
I remember this now.
She's looking at the ring and she said, "Why are so many wrestlers in there?" She says, "Only supposed to be 2."
Yeah, doesn't it say there's too many or something like that?
Yeah, there's too many in there. Yeah, too
Yeah.
many. I was like, "You're right. You're right. There's too many in there."
Yeah.
Even a fucking
fucking wait for
3-year-old
them now.
knows more than 2 is
Yeah,
too
yeah.
many. That's what they gotta do. They just gotta listen to the people that aren't fans. Listen to the wives. Listen to the little kids that don't know
Well, that's
as
the
much
thing.
as we
There's
do.
No,
It's
what
supposed to be
fans
basic.
wanted this.
Yeah. No shit.
Like,
just too much.
I'm sure when we were watching this, they were like, "This is stupid." Most of the people, the crowd isn't all that into the match.
It's almost like
Houston's like a wrestling town. No, this isn't in Houston. Where is this?
This is in Charlotte, so it's a wrestling town.
Oh, definitely a wrestling town territory. Like, they fucking know bad shit when they see it.
Right. I just feel like over the years, the promoters had to like become gimmicky with the types of matches because they thought that people wanted something different or something more. And
there's just too much shock in this match. British Bulldog just came back. Now he's in a match. Like, I don't know.
yes. Yeah, so
it's like as if this wasn't interesting enough. It's like they knew this wasn't interesting. Maybe if we bring the Bulldog back and we put him in the match, this will be interesting.
Yeah,
it's
so it's kind of like they already knew it sucked. Like, this is gonna suck, so let's get the Bulldog in there, even though that sucks too.
Yeah, especially heel Bulldog. Heel Bulldog sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Face Bulldog was really cool. When I was a kid, he had the dog. He was
Yep.
British. And, when he was a face, he had the fucking beads in his hair and shit.
Right.
But like, once he turned heel, it's like, he cut his hair. He looked like a dickhead. Short-haired Bulldog sucks. Long-haired Bulldog with the beads and shit was pretty cool, dude. He even seemed more badass than and likable.
Yeah.
Fucking crew cut Bulldog.
Even when he was tag team
Nobody
partners
likes
with
crew
Lex
cut
Luger,
Bulldog.
he was cool. And that team sucked.
Yeah. Yep.
The Allied Powers.
Yes, that's it. I was thinking of it. I was going to say the Axis. I was like, no, that ain't right.
No, that'd be like the German and the
There's like German and like
the Russian guys. No, the Russians were
Chinese?
allied. Yeah, Chinese.
My history sucks.
Chinese
right?
and the Germans, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Italians too.
Yeah, that's right. Mussolini.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, to wrap up the
Anyway.
match, what were you going to say?
No, I just said anyway. We can move on from that.
So to wrap up the match, The Rock's going to hit the rock bottom with Triple H, and go for the pin. Austin slides in. He gets a 2 count. Rock and Triple H continue to battle it out. And everyone else is fighting outside the ring. Rock lands the rock bottom. He goes for a people's elbow. He nails the people's elbow. Austin counts up to 2. Big Show pulls him out of the ring. Bulldog runs into the ring with a steel chair. Nails the Rock with it. Triple H is then going to hit the pedigree. Bulldog is about to hit Triple H so he can get his chance to be the champion. But Austin grabs the chair from Bulldog, whacks Bulldog with the steel chair. Triple H then hits the pedigree. And Austin's going to make, reluctantly, he's going to make the 3 count for Triple H. And Triple H becomes the WWF champion again. Cool part here, right at the end, is that Austin is trying to be a good ref. He's gonna grab the belt. He's gonna reach out to raise Triple H's hand, but Triple H then just yanks the title from Austin and raises the belt in Austin's face. And Austin's like, no, fuck no. Kicks him in the gut, then gives him a stunner. Gets on him, does the middle fingers, gets a few beers in the ring, pours the beer all over the champ as the show comes to an end. That's how that wraps up. So Triple H is a champ. Austin is the number 1 contender as this show ends, and the show ends with Austin's music playing and Austin having a beer bash. So even though he wasn't in the match, it's all about him when it comes down to it in the end. Obviously, this is not an Austin match, so we're not going to give it a skull rating, and if we did, it would be pretty shitty anyway.
Yeah, it would be terrible. 1 skull.
But that wraps up what's going on with Austin in the world title scene. And JV, you got anything else to say with that before we move on?
Yeah, thank God that's over. Please spot the Attitude Era. We have some good stuff to talk about.
All right. So we'll be back in just a moment. So take a listen to our boys, Alex and Travis from Talking Taker, and we'll be back with the Attitude Era update for September 20th through September 26th of 1999.
Deadman walking.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Stone Cold fans? This is Alex Dorio, one of the hosts of Talking Taker. And along with my co-host and fellow creature of the night, Travis White, we are digging up the career of the Deadman, one pay-per-view match at a time, on a podcast journey that's a lot like what you're listening to right now on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So if you're enjoying what Mike and JV are doing here, going through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, come check us out as we explore the Undertaker's 3 decades of destruction. We're right in the midst of the Biker Taker era right now, so you can jump right in or start over from the beginning and hear us discuss the Undertaker side of the story from his many battles with the Rattlesnake, The Rock, Mankind, and more. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, and more. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Talking Taker. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy. What? I said, take her easy.
We're back with our Attitude Era update for September 20th through September 26th of 1999. We're going to start off with the tag team title scene. And on Raw 330, on September 20th, 1999, you have the Rock and Sock Connection. They arrive in the boiler room. And the Rock he's going to come in from backstage. He just arrives. He's going to sing to an old security lady. I thought this was a great skit. Did you catch this one?
Yeah, I did. This was this was going to be my hell yeah moment.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this was a good one. The Rock is fighting back using his catchphrases on this old lady. He's trying to be nice, but it's tough for him. He wants to tell her to stick it up sideways and all his favorite catchphrases.
Yeah, this is like an iconic one because this starts the singing Rock, where he starts to sing more often.
Right, he does a little Elvis singing.
Yeah.
In this one, she says, "Hey, it's my birthday." Oh, it's Rock's birthday. You say it's your birthday, and he gives her $100. It was just a cool little segment, so it's definitely worth going back to watch. It's The Rock in all his glory here on Raw 330 from September 20th, 1999. Mankind is in the boiler room. He's rolling around, and Undertaker is going to send Mideon and Viscera after him to attack him. And Mideon comes in with some shitty gear on. He looks like he has the Hurricane Shane Helms outfit on before they gave it to Shane Helms. So Mankind
what's he in DX now? Like the colors? I was like,
right.
What's going on? Yeah,
that was
brighter than usual.
And I don't think he wears it again after this because I think they made fun of him. So Mankind gets beat on when Big Show joins in. The Rock comes to Mankind's aid during the commercial break. Mankind cuts an interview later on the show. He tells Michael Cole to know his mouth and shut his roll.
This Mankind's awesome with The Rock. He's fucking up his shit.
Yeah, he's trying to like steal his shit, but fucking it all up. It's great. Mankind challenges Undertaker and Big Show to a tag team title match later in the show. The Rock is pissed that his Rolex was broken trying to help Mankind. The Rock puts a t-shirt on Michael Cole's face during the interview. This was a good part. This is another great Rock promo.
Well, he's done this before, right? Where he like throws the fucking shirt on Michael Cole's face.
Yeah, he's done that before. But this next part where he says, "You're mad at me for talking trash. I talk trash all the time. The Rock talks trash in his sleep." And then he goes, Rudy Pukini ass.
Yeah.
Lay the smack it down. So that was a great one too. Undertaker tells The Rock to get his comedy writers to write a eulogy for him, and The Rock is going to take great offense to that line because The Rock did have his writers. He had Brian Gewirtz, and Undertaker probably knew that, and he's like, "Oh, this guy's getting over because he has this like personal writer that they write this
low
shit
key
together."
Salty about it,
right?
Bring real life like fucking jealousy onto the screen.
Oh, exactly.
But Taker might have been that guy. Not to badmouth Taker all the time, but he was probably that guy who's like, "I put my time in this company. It's time for me to be at the top." Because he probably sees how much money guys like The Rock and Stone Cold are making. Even though I'm sure he's still earning well, but like merchandise wise,
right? But to see them come up in like 2 years and get all that,
yeah. He's like, I beat Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
He thinks that matters still.
He probably is a little salty, though, because
he has a right to be. I mean, I get it.
And he's injured, and he's about to leave.
He's a hard worker, too, so.
But he probably didn't mind right here, like just weeks before he's going to go off for his injury, to throw a little salt at The Rock, salt on his wound. So anyway, we get that Tag Team Championship match. And The Rock and Sock Connection are going to win the tag team titles off of Undertaker and Big Show, the Unholy Alliance. And it only makes sense because Undertaker needs to lose the title because he's leaving. So they got to get the tag team titles off of him. So they transition it to The Rock and Mankind, which, can't be a long-term thing either because Mankind and The Rock are top talents.
Yep.
They're not going to keep the belt on them, but that's one way to get the belts off of Undertaker and Big Show, transition that, and then they'll find another way to get him off The Rock.
And back to the point you made earlier in the first half of our episode where they have a lot more television to write, so you have to have a lot more interesting television.
That's
so having guys like them together helps because it's like, all right, we know we can get like a solid 20 minutes of TV at least once a week out of these guys, probably twice a week on both shows.
Right.
More than they might get like attention if they were separately at this point. As kind of as singles, they're kind of a little played out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so even if it's for just a few weeks, it's a good thing to do.
Yep.
Because this doesn't last very long, but it seems like looking back in history that, The Rock and Sock Connection, that was a long time. It's like, it was like 3 weeks.
Yeah, but don't they...
they come back together later.
I would say it becomes like something they do on and off again.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So they win the titles there. Later in the show, The Undertaker is on the search for Kane. And Kane goes out. He gets gasoline poured all over him by The Undertaker's boys, Mideon, Viscera, Big Show. Big Show and Undertaker both have a blowtorch. They're trying to set Kane on fire, but Mankind and The Rock come down with baseball bats and fight them all off. On SmackDown, episode 5 from September 23rd, 1999, The Rock cuts a promo about the Dallas Stars because they're in Dallas.
This was cool.
Yeah.
Calls out Mike Madonna and Bret Hall.
Right.
I only remember those guys
kids.
because they're in the Mighty Ducks, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, I think
one of
so.
them's in the Mighty Ducks because they were the Minnesota North Stars.
Stars, yeah.
The Stars were still in Minnesota when the Mighty Ducks
Yep.
shit was filmed, but in this point they're
yeah, this is years
Dallas.
later.
Yeah.
Mankind comes out. He's gonna kiss The Rock's ass a little bit. Road Dogg comes out. Says he's checking into the SmackDown hotel. Then he calls out Billy Gunn. So they just merged those guys back together after a little experiment of trying to get Billy Gunn over as a single and Road Dogg as a hardcore single. And they said, that don't work. We're done with that. You guys are back. It's New Age Outlaws again. So
Billy Gunn's so confusing that the announce team never even refers to him really as Mr. Ass.
it's like Mr.
So
Ass.
like I'm watching
Badass
the match,
Billy
he comes
Gunn.
out. Yeah, he comes out as Mr. Ass. It's like, oh, badass Billy Gunn, because that's how stupid Mr. Ass is.
Right. They're like, I'm not saying that anymore.
Yeah.
He's
Get the
badass.
fuck out of here. We're grown men. I'm not saying that.
So he comes out to the ass band music, but it's funny, you noticed that too. They said badass right away.
Yep.
So, decent match. New Age Outlaws are going to win the titles after a Fame-Masser from Billy Gunn to Mankind. The Rock is pissed at Mankind. But like I was saying moments ago, it makes sense to take the titles off of those guys and transition it to New Age Outlaws. And now they can help get some teams over on the tag team division because there's a lot of new young teams. So New Age Outlaws would be a good team for people like Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys, to work with.
Yeah, the highlight of the best part of tag team history in wrestling. You know what I'm trying to say.
Getting there, yeah. Right, with the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and...
Yeah, this one, the tag team division.
Oh, Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Acolytes. So it's starting to get really good in tag team division. So why not let the New Age Outlaws be part of that? Because they were the champs during kind of a shitty time for tag team champions. Tag team back in 98, late 97, 98. So good for them to go back into this because then it becomes meaningful. They become meaningful again. Poor Billy. It didn't work out. All right, so that's basically what's going on. Actually, New Age Outlaws are going to defend their titles at Unforgiven against Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian had earned a title shot weeks back, and they get this match here. Hardy Boys are going to get involved, and that causes Edge to get distracted and get the Fame-Masser from Billy Gunn. The New Age Outlaws retain the titles at Unforgiven. On the IC title scene, you get the Jeff Jarrett story and China story continuing on. And on SmackDown Episode 5 from September 23rd, 1999, Jeff Jarrett cuts a promo about being a man's man. He tells a production girl that's trying to wrap him up to, he basically calls her a skank. He says, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah. No, he says, so this is the production girl with the jeans on and shit. He says, he says, oh, you should only be picking up the dishes in the kitchen and all that stuff. It's actually pretty good.
He takes her papers, like her production papers or whatever, flings them into the ring. He says, do what a woman are designed to do and clean up crap.
Yeah.
Clean crap up.
Hey, I actually like Jeff Jarrett here. Maybe that speaks to some like inner demons in me. I don't know. He's funny. Like, I don't know.
I thought it was funny too. I even last week I said some of the stuff is pretty good.
Especially more so, I think I might like it more now because I know how much that you could never do that now.
Right.
Like the backlash would just be like fucking incredible. WWE stock would probably tank the next day, even though it's a story.
Right. It's crazy because it would create so much heat, but it's just a story and that's the point of it.
Because the only people that still think wrestling's real are people that don't watch wrestling. Because when it becomes all of a sudden when a story, something fiction, touches too close to home, all of a sudden it's like real
now
time.
now it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I see.
It's only
I see how this works.
Right. It's only real when you want to shit on it.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden this stuff's not a joke anymore. It's relevant to you.
Right.
Dicks.
So that happens. China runs down to stop all this shit because Jarrett's gonna try to put the figure 4 on the production girl. China runs in, whacks him with the frying pan, puts the apron that Jarrett put on her. She puts it on him. She takes off his shorts and then puts his shorts on. I don't know what that was supposed to say other than my man. I don't know. Whatever. But at Unforgiven, they have a title match, Intercontinental Championship match. It's actually a pretty good match.
Yeah, it is.
Jeff Jarrett works very well with Chyna. So he definitely looks good here, and he makes her look good because she's not totally up to snuff yet with her wrestling ability, but they get through a match, and it's not that bad. So as the match gets...
she takes a superplex and shit.
Yeah, she takes some good spots. So the match comes to an end, gets towards the end, rather. The ref takes a bump. Miss Kitty gives Jeff Jarrett the guitar. Moolah and Mae Young are at ringside. They're sitting in the front row. They get into the ring, and they double suplex Jeff Jarrett, but then he just kicks the shit out of him, which I thought was funny, too. So, like, they give him the double suplex, and it's like, oh, no, look what they did. And then he just bounces off the ropes and double clotheslines them both down, then starts kicking them in the gut. So... Deborah pushes Miss Kitty to the floor. Deborah's going to nail Jarrett with the guitar. Chyna gets the 3 count. She gets announced the IC champion, and the crowd goes nuts for it, which was pretty cool. And I was like, all right, cool. I can see this being pretty good. Because generally, I definitely would have thought back in 99, like, that she shouldn't be the champion. But right here, for me, it worked watching it now. Tom Pritchard runs down as the head of the Scab refs, and he wants the replay shown for Harvey Whippleman, who's the ref of that match. Then Harvey Whippleman's going to reverse the decision and call it a DQ, so Jeff Jarrett retains the IC title, which is cool. And that's probably what Jarrett wanted. Like, okay, I'll do the match. She maybe gets over on me, but I still retain the championship. That's going to lead to that.
He seemed fine working with her.
Yeah.
Like, he actually did a really good job. Like, he was,
Right.
like, I don't know. It was one of the better matches.
And this is going to lead to their match the next month, which is going to be his last match before he leaves.
Yeah.
He's going to have to drop
And this
the
is the
title.
reason he left, right? Was like,
Right, this feud.
I lost to a fucking woman.
Right.
It's something that isn't fucking matter in life.
Right. He's going to let his contract expire, I guess, basically. And right before the next pay-per-view, and Vince McMahon's going to have to pay him to just do that match and give up the IC title. So he doesn't take the IC title at WCW.
Smart.
So he worked Vince for like $300,000 is what it's claimed to be for that one match.
How much?
$300,000
For wow.
that one match at No Mercy.
Wow. Good for Jeff Jarrett.
But then he was blacklisted basically for the rest of his career until they let him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah.
Last year, right?
Right. Last year or the year before. Either one. But
I don't know.
Yeah. It goes by so quick. But yeah, that'll be the end of Jeff Jarrett. That's why he has to open up TNA. It's because he's not going to work anywhere else. All right, so now we move on to Chris Jericho. One of the highlights of this time here in late 99 or mid 99 to late 99. And on Raw 330 from September 20th, you get Chris Jericho have a match with Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn's one of his last singles matches of this time period. Billy Gunn has a female choker on as he comes to the ring. Like something that would have been bought in 1999 at Claire's in the mall. That's exactly what that looks like to me. Tom Pritchard is the ref here. It's basically a tune-up match for Jericho, leading to his match with Ken Shamrock at Unforgiven. Curtis Hughes is going to DDT Billy Gunn on the concrete outside the ring, and then he's going to throw Billy Gunn back into the ring, and Billy Gunn's going to submit to the Walls of Jericho, formerly known as the Lion Tamer, but now they're calling it the Walls of Jericho at this point. So Curtis Hughes is big body god, Mr. Hughes, as he used to be, is helping out Jericho.
He just showed up in the ECW cast.
Right, yeah, and on Extreme Cast, he made his debut as a totally different looking man.
Which was wild.
Than he does here. On SmackDown, episode 5 from September 23rd, 1999, you get Chris Jericho versus Ken Shamrock, which has been a long feud that's been building up. And they're supposed to have a match the next week, or just a few days later, at Unforgiven, but they're not going to wait for that. they're going to have it here. It's a first blood match. So Jericho and Curtis Hughes beat Ken Shamrock with hockey sticks, causing internal bleeding, which is like the 5th or 6th time that Ken Shamrock has done this angle where he's bleeding internally and spitting out blood. And they call the match, and Jericho gets the win. So they were supposed to have this match at Unforgiven, so they decided to have it here because Ken Shamrock is leaving. So another person gone from the show from this point on is Ken Shamrock. So not only was it Undertaker for a little while, Jeff Jarrett's going to be leaving within the next month or the next couple of weeks, and Ken Shamrock is done here. This is his last match in the WWF, September 23rd against Chris Jericho. So Chris Jericho gets the accolade of ending Ken Shamrock's wrestling career, along with Curtis Hughes. So Ken Shamrock goes on to resume his MMA fighting. And, good solid run for Ken Shamrock. I didn't appreciate it as much as I did, as I do now, that we've just gone through basically we did go through his whole career.
His whole career, yeah.
Yeah. So I really appreciate it now, whereas I didn't back then because I don't know, it just stuck in my head that, he's an MMA, he's a UFC guy. I didn't initially respect that right away.
I always felt like he should have gotten more out of WWE. Like when I was younger, I loved him. I was like, this guy's the man.
Yeah, because you were big into watching the UFC fights.
Yeah, I did Kung Fu, so.
Yeah, you had appreciation for it.
Yeah, well, it was Taekwondo, but Kung Fu's like, I wanted to know how to do Kung Fu.
I've never done any of that.
I don't think Kung Fu's real. Is it?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just like a movie thing.
I don't know if it's an actual art form, but that's the one I wanted to learn. It's like, all we got in the area is Taekwondo and like Kenpo or something.
Yeah. All right, and then from there, Chris Jericho is going to have a match at the pay-per-view still. So to replace Ken Shamrock, who's now left, X-Pac, who he's worked with numerous times already in the WWF, and then so many times in WCW when he was Six Pac.
Yeah.
Which is basically the name of this episode, Six Pac. So X-Pac wins via DQ because Curtis Hughes interferes. They hit referee Tom Pritchard, and he clotheslines X-Pac after the match. Road Dogg comes out and helps out X-Pac to clear the ring of Jericho and Hughes. So maybe it looks like Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and X-Pac are going to become connected again. I don't know if it's
that was a good match.
Yeah, that was
the best match on the card.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, if these two guys were wrestling nowadays, everyone would have fucking boners for it.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, X-Pac would be a huge superstar today. Like Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. He'd be awesome, too, because he could talk.
Right.
The problem is with him is they never trusted him with a live mic.
No. All right, so...
But you can't blame him.
No, it's true. Eric Bischoff, you suck, pal. Hulk Hogan, you suck, pal.
Yeah. That's tell you what, though, he had a lot of really good promos, but, man.
Yeah. All right, so we move on to the hardcore title scene, which has consistently been my oh hell no has been pulled from these hardcore title situations week after week. So on Raw 330 from September 20th, we have Big Boss Man versus Hardcore Holly. Al Snow is standing across the street from a cemetery. He has a couple Rottweilers with him, and he has a makeshift grave for Pepper. And then later, GTV catches Big Boss Man pissing on Pepper's grave. Hardcore Holly comes out and challenges Boss Man. Holly smashes a water pitcher on Boss Man's face, busting him open big time. Al Snow shows Boss Man a demonstration on the Titantron of what the dogs will do in their upcoming match that they have set up, where it's going to be a Kennel from Hell match. It's basically a Hell in a Cell with dogs running around.
This is my oh hell no,
yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah,
the Kennel match.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what it was called?
Yeah, the Kennel from Hell match. That's my oh hell no also. Yeah. So we'll get to that in a second. But on SmackDown 05, episode 5 from the 23rd of September. You get a hardcore match, Al Snow versus Hardcore Holly. Holly gets the win with the help of Crash. Holly distracting Al Snow. After the match, Big Boss Man comes down and whacks Hardcore Holly and then forces Al Snow to eat dog food. Canned dog food, mushy dog food. And then beats him with a dog chain.
Which is basically they fucking just did recently on Raw. Right?
Yeah,
Didn't they do a dog food shit with like Roman Reigns?
Yeah, they did, yep.
Sucks 20 years ago.
Sucks though.
Sucks 20 years later.
At Unforgiven, you get the Kennel from Hell match, Al Snow versus Big Boss Man. You got the big blue cages back, but on top of it, they got the Hell in a Cell. So you got the double cages outside of the big blue cage. Within the Hell in a Cell, you get the Rottweilers, who are there with their handlers. And that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the threat of this match, of having these big mean dogs. You got freaking guys just holding them the whole time. The dogs are pissing on the ringside mat. They're not doing anything. They don't even look mean. They just look confused, like, what the fuck are we doing here? This sucks. Can we go in the back and have a snack? Like, poor dogs. And it's just a shit show.
Yeah.
The only thing that I liked, to say anything about liking it, and that this is even a stretch, is that I like the look of the cage, kind of. Like, if it was another type of match. And even that's a stretch, because if it was a match with those two cages, it probably would have sucked anyway. Even if you put a couple good stars in there. So, yeah, so basically there's nothing good about this.
Well, I think the match following it on the card, you get to see them, like, taking the cage apart. Or there's someone has a promo in the ring, right?
I think Chris Jericho's match is right after this against X-Pac. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Jericho's coming out in the cage
because he cuts a promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that concludes that segment. So we move on to Stephanie and Tess storyline. Raw 330. Tess challenges Jarrett to a street fight. Jeff Jarrett wants it to be a mixed tag team match. So Jeff Jarrett and Deborah are going to go on and take on Tess and Stephanie McMahon in their first match. So Jarrett attacks. What the hell is this? I'm looking at my notes. I'm like, who the fuck is Janice? All right. So anyway, now I remember. So Jarrett attacks Janice, who's the makeup girl backstage. I saw that name. I was like, did I fuck that up? Who the hell is Janice? But anyway, Jarrett beats up another girl in the backstage before the match starts. Deborah comes to the ring. Tits are bouncing like crazy. Yeah, that was great. That's worth going back. September 20th, 1999. Raw 330. Mixed tag team match. Lawler's all worked up about it. He says it's raining cats and dogs, which Miss Kitty is Lawler's girl.
Yep.
Deborah backs away from a tag.
She ends up, her titties end up showing, correct? Right? In one of the future pay-per-views?
That sounds familiar. Now that
yeah,
you say
like
it.
very clear. Like they didn't black it out in time. Like I remember that.
Okay.
She had like small titties.
Yes, it does.
But they're nice, you know. They would look nice.
Yeah, you're right. I don't remember what show it is, but it can't be too far from this one.
She has like shorter hair than like
probably
short hair when it happens, I think.
It's probably in 2000 though, so we're gonna be skipping a lot of the 2000.
I definitely remember that. It's like, fuck, nudity on TV.
Hell yeah!
Always remember that.
Back in 2000, that's
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
That's a big deal. So in this match, Tess manhandles Jeff Jarrett, hits a pump handle slam, then an elbow drop. Stephanie comes in and gets the pin over Jeff Jarrett, which is a good twist for the storyline with Jeff Jarrett because he's been beating up all these girls, and now he's going to take a pinfall loss to Stephanie McMahon, a female, in her first match. Non-wrestler, too. So it's almost like they knew, I think they maybe knew his contract. Well, obviously they knew the contract's up, but this may have been a way of like, all right, you're leaving? All right, we're going to have you lose to this Stephanie McMahon. From there, Jarrett puts the figure 4 on Deborah. He gets the asshole chant, and Jeff Jarrett tries to attack Chyna later in the night. And then we got to the IC title match. Excuse me. I didn't have time to try to block that one.
The full blunt of that one.
All right. So the Dudleys, they're on the scene now, and They're going to have a good match with the Hardy Boys on September 20th on Raw 330. But the Acolytes are going to come out and they're going to do commentary ringside. Stevie Richards is coming out at this point in these matches with the Dudleys. He's dressed up as a Dudley boy. Ron Simmons is making hilarious jokes about Bubba Ray stuttering, which is rare from Ron Simmons.
Yeah, it is. Much more than damn out of that one.
Right. Stevie and Gangrel are fighting at ringside. You get the Dudley Death Drop for the win, which I forgot that's what 3D stood for. Is Dudley Death Drop. The 3D. Oh well. I didn't realize that. It's been a long time. It's been just known as 3D for so long.
Yeah, I think I knew that, but
Yeah, it's just been so long that you probably forgot.
I don't know. If you had asked me before you said that, would you know what that stood for? I think I would have known.
Oh, damn.
I think I would have juggled my brain, and my brain would have just said, "Oh yeah, it's the Dudley Death Drop."
Should have thought of that. Should have thought of asking you.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, Farouk and Bradshaw run in and they beat up the Dudley Boys. On the next episode on SmackDown from September 23rd, Dudley's attack Teddy Long as the refs are picketing, so they're just starting shit. The Acolytes don't take too kindly to that. So they'll have a match at Unforgiven. It's a nice back and forth brawl between two tough teams. The Acolytes end up with the win when Stevie Richards comes out again, and this time, because the Dudleys didn't appreciate his help, he comes out dressed up as an Acolyte. And he has the Acolyte type writing on his chest, but it says UPN, like the UPN network SmackDown's on. So he gives a Stevie kick to Devon. The Acolytes get the cover, and then they kick Stevie's ass too, so they don't appreciate Stevie Ray at all either. So Stevie Ray just has no friends. That's probably what's going to lead him to creating one of the most annoying factions in wrestling history, the Right to Censor. That he has no support, so screw everybody. And then to kind of wrap things up here, you have a feud going on with D'Lo and Mark Henry, and they've been obviously best pals all along, and Mark Henry turned on him. He got the European Championship handed to him by Jeff Jarrett, and D'Lo is going to challenge him at Unforgiven, and he's going to win the European Championship match. It's going to be his fourth and final reign as the European Champion. So that's a tied record. William Regal will come onto the scene and win the European title 4 times also. So that's where it stands there. And that was a pretty good match. It was not the opening match, but it was the second match. It was a pretty good match. The opening match on Unforgiven was Val Venus versus Steve Blackman. And there's only really one reason to bring this match up. And actually, before this match even happened on Raw 330, it was Steve Blackman versus Sean Stasiak. And Val Venus comes down to the ring with Blackman's duffel bag because he stole it. And then Blackman gets it back, and he goes for his weapon, and he pulls out a vibrator. So that was like the big twist in this angle, is that, oh, Steve Blackman got embarrassed because he had a dildo in his hand.
Not nunchucks.
Yeah. Vibrating nunchucks. That would have been funny. Sorry, anyway, so Val Venus wins this match at Unforgiven against Steve Blackman with a money shot. But right after the match, Blackman gets his kendo stick and just cracks him right square in the head. And then the best part is the medical team comes down. And then there's this big-titted EMT, like jumbos. Did you see that part?
No, I didn't notice
man, missed it. But anyway, she comes out. I'm like, who the hell is this? This doesn't make any sense for an EMT to look like this. She's got to be something. So I looked in. I go to Google. I'm like searching Unforgiven big tit EMT. I'm like, again, all kinds of random shit. And then I finally came upon something, and it was Barbara Bush. And I don't remember this at all, but apparently that girl goes on. Her name becomes Barbara Bush or BB, and she's an EMT that comes down during various matches over the next year or so, whatever. So she worked on the indie scene. She worked at Hooters for 7 years, and she met some wrestlers while working there and got involved in being a manager on the indie scene. Her name's Kathy Dingman, and she ended up having some appearances at WWF after this, or from this point on. So I'll be looking, keep my eyes open for some of those matches or things that she's involved in. But anyway, Steve Blackman is going to confront her, and then the security guard, Rhino, the Jim Dotson, who we always refer to as Rhino security guard, he's actually going to do Rhino's finishing move to Steve Blackman. He's going to give a spear to Steve Blackman so that he backs off of Barbara Bush, BB, double Bs. So that's that. And then we always get the last thing, which is always anticlimactic, is that we got the women's title scenario going on here. And Ivory and Luna Vachon have a feud going on. They have a match. It's a hardcore match. Ivory actually wins. And then she's going to go backstage during an interview with Lillian Garcia in Moolah with Mae Young. And Ivory goes back there and says, now that's how you wrestle. That's how you do it. And then the old ladies kick the shit out of Ivory. So that was pretty funny. All right, so that kind of wraps things up with the Attitude Era update. I did want to point out a couple other noteworthy things going on in general. Steve Austin and The Rock are going to appear on the Emmys during this time period, which is the highest rated TV show. So that's how big wrestling is at that time, is that these two wrestlers are going to be on the highest rated show, the Emmys. Austin's also filming episodes of Nash Bridges during this time. That's why he's not on TV as much. And then you get a couple other things. Gorilla Monsoon suffers a heart attack on September 19th. And just couple weeks before this, Eric Bischoff was fired from WCW. So that kind of shows you where WCW is at. Bischoff is out. Vince Russo is going to make his way over there. And it's just falling apart over there in WCW. JV, I did add a note in here. I don't know if you saw it about your cousin, but Pat Tanaka.
No, I didn't catch it.
All right, I'll take a look at it. Doesn't have much to do with our show here. More so on the Extreme ECW cast. It's part of our thing going on over there. Pat Tanaka wrestling in various ECW matches at the time.
With Paulie Diamond.
Yeah. The old Orient Express.
Yeah.
All right, so on the house show rundown, we'll wrap things up here. The house show rundown, Austin doesn't appear on the house shows during this time period. And there's not many house shows during this time anyway, because we're only covering the span of about 10 days. So no Austin, no rundown there. Oh, hell yeah moment of the week. JV, what was yours? What do you have for an oh, hell yeah?
It was Austin beating up the refs.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I just thought that was cool. I don't know, because I was so bored leading up to that.
Yeah.
That once the refs came down and then he's like, all right, time to go to work. I was like, all right. It's like, this is fucking awesome now.
Yeah, that's got to be, man, that definitely has to be the best. Because the earliest stuff with Austin wasn't that great.
Nothing memorable.
No. I don't want to steal the same one as yours. That one's a cool one, the refs. But I guess when Austin is trying to hand Triple H the belt and Triple H just yanks it from him, and Austin's just immediately like, fuck you then, and then gives him the stutter.
Like triggered, yeah.
Yeah, so
yep.
that was pretty cool. And he walks off, celebrates, has his beers. You had said earlier, though, that one of your oh hell yeah moments would have been The Rock singing to the old lady, security guard.
Yeah, yes. So that's my non-Austin
Austin
hell yeah moment. Yeah, I try to keep it Austin related. So.
Right.
But that was Austin's, The Rock singing to the lady was cool.
Yeah.
Because it becomes like just another part of his character.
Right. He's always building up his character.
Yeah, he knows how to stay fresh, relevant, and not, even though he has his catchphrases that, like know your role, this and that, he has so many others that he can just fucking dig out and get the same pop.
Yep.
If not better pop.
He has the freedom to experiment too, because he has the crowd in the palm of his hand. They're not just all of a sudden going to be like, "Boo, that sucked." They're just gonna be like, "Oh, cool, yeah." They're just gonna go along with it.
It's just rare, though. I don't think he puts out shit.
No.
The only time he's ever really been booed is when he's with Roman Reigns, and it's because nobody respected him. Then it's like, no, you're just here to put over a guy that we don't like.
Right. That's true.
And no matter what you say right now, you're going to get booed.
Yeah,
Well,
it's almost like the crowd is like,
no,
don't take The Rock. Don't try to screw us by making The Rock do this.
Yeah. I remember feeling like violated as a
Yeah,
fan.
exactly. It's like
it was
violated.
personal.
Like, oh, you.
But then The Rock did have something. I don't remember what it was, and it sucked. And he was like trying to get it with the fans. And then all the dirt sheets came out that he's like, yeah, don't ever put me on TV with that guy again.
Oh, wow.
His cousin. Who knows if these
that.
dirt sheets are true, but
Yeah,
I remember reading something like that. It was probably like some fucking like John Doe 647 on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it got retweeted enough times to where I was like, it's real news.
All right, so we'll go to our Oh Hell No's. We have the same one.
Yeah,
We already said it.
match.
Right, it's the fucking Kennel from Hell match. We don't need to go more into it. That's the Oh Hell No.
There's no place for dogs and dog food on fucking
Unless it's the British Bulldog.
TV.
And even that's
Yeah,
not-
I mean like vicious dogs trying to like fucking.
Right.
There's just no need for that. If you're gonna put dogs on TV, make them cute, make them man's best friend.
All
I
right.
want to see fucking Cujo.
All right, guys. So, give you a little update of what's coming up on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. The course of the next 2 weeks, and as we did last year, on these 2 last weeks of the year, or last week and the first week of the new year, we do something a little different. We take a break from our chronological story of Austin's career, and we dive into a different part of Austin's career, whether it's through watch along or what we're going to do next week. New part of the show is a special series. So not just special edition episodes, a special series that we're starting is going to be episode 1 of the Hollywood Blondes. So our own little mini series within the Bottom Line Cast where we're covering stunning Steve Austin's career as a member of the Hollywood Blondes. In episode 1 will be the origin story of the build-up to being the Hollywood Blondes with Brian Pillman. So I'll be talking about late 92 into 93, or how these guys started to team up with each other and begin a feud with Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas. So that'll be next week, episode 1, the Hollywood Blondes special series. Okay, and that'll be sporadic. It's not going to be 4 weeks in a row of doing that. Okay, it'll be one episode, and then sometime down the road, we'll do episode 2. But we'll start with episode 1, and then the following week, there'll be a companion episode to go with episode 1, the origins of the Hollywood Blondes. And that will be on New Year's Day. So next week is Christmas Day where the episode will come out. And then the following week, New Year's Day, will be the special series Hollywood Blondes Watch Along, which is the match Brian Pillman, Steve Austin versus Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas. And we'll be building up to that match on episode 1. So we'll talk about everything leading to that match, and then we'll get to the watch along the following week on January 1st. And then on January 8th, we'll be back with our regular Stone Cold Steve Austin episodes with episode 58. So that's what's coming up for the next 3 weeks here on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. I'm pretty excited for it. I've been waiting to do it. I've started to prepare this Hollywood Blonde stuff months back, and now it's time to get into it. Something a little different.
Yeah, I think it'll be really fun to cover.
It's
Nice break from
WWF.
the grind of the Attitude Era, yeah,
Right.
which is at a very silly, fragile point.
Right, we're going to go back to a more
For me.
simple time in 1992 in WCW. So it should be fun. Well, that said, that's what we got going on. But our pals, Talking Taker, that you heard during our break, they have a special episode coming out too. So they're a show like us, and they're actually doing the same kind of thing during the holiday season. Is they're presenting some special episodes during this time. I think our show and their show we're doing this because it allows for us to have a little break from putting these episodes together. The episodes we're going to present to you in a couple of weeks, they're pretty much ready already. So we want to have some more free time during the holidays with our family. So that's why we're doing it, and it's probably the same reason why Talking Taker's doing it. And they're doing a special episode this week that comes out on Thursday or Friday, usually Thursday nights. They're doing The Undertaker in ECW, along with December 2 Dismember, which took place in Atlanta, Georgia, where the Talking Taker guys are from. So they were at that show. So they're going to talk about their experience at December 2 Dismember, and also talk about all the different appearances that Undertaker made in ECW. Not ECW, the original ECW, but the WWE ECW, when Undertaker made many appearances. Also, check out, and that's Talking Taker again, but also check out Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, where those guys are covering 1988 NWA WCW, and this week, this Thursday, they're covering August 20th, 1988. Then they also have another show that comes out on Sundays, which is the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Recap. That's episode 174 coming out this Sunday. They are talking about May 27th of 1995. Also, be sure to check us out on the Booking the Territory Patreon feed at the $5 tier. The Extreme ECW Livecast JV and I do. And this week is episode 14, where we are watching Hardcore TV's episodes 28, 29, and 30 from October 19th, 26th, and November 2nd of 1993. Also, be sure to check out our friend Jay Free on his podcast, Free a Geek, for all things in the world of pop culture, movies, music, comic books, TV shows. It's a whole variety of things there on Free a Geek, so check that show out for your pop culture flavor. Okay, so JV and I also, like we said at the top of the show, we're available on Twitter at BottomLineCast. I'm available at MPRU83. John is JV is at John Van Damage. So check us out there on Twitter. Also, you're on Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review, please. And a nice write-up would be great if you could do that. And also remember our YouTube page, Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. Please subscribe there. Tell all your friends about us. Spread the word. Thanks, guys, for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, we'll be back next week with our special series on Christmas, the Hollywood Blondes, and then follow that up the next week on New Year's Day 2020 for the Watch Along, the Hollywood Blondes against Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas. But before we get out of here, because by the next time you hear us, it will be Christmas. So hope you guys have a great Christmas Eve, and hope you have a great Christmas. Feel free to not listen to us on Wednesday. Enjoy your holiday, but make sure you listen to us as soon as you can after that. So have a great holiday. Merry Christmas. JV, any final words?
No final words, man. Merry Christmas.
All right, guys. So we'll be back next week. Take care, and take a listen to this track that was cut out from the WWE Network that was in the video package. It's System of a Down, Sugar. Take a listen. It's so long.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Some people call it tea. Yeah, they call it tea.
forever. But I'm feeling better.